Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is Breaking Prisms, where we go over the Twilight Zone and Love, Death, and Robots. And we finished up Black Mirror, so if you want to check out any of those, you can go back and do that as well. Today we'll be going over the 18th episode of the first season of the Twilight Zone.
For some reason, I was so confused because I was thinking Love, Death, and Robots. I was like, we are not on the 18th episode. Yeah.
18th episode of the first season of the Twilight Zone. Titled something with flight. The Last Flight. I knew the flight was in there. Like, what was it?
The Last Flight.
The Last Flight. Yeah, this is about a gentleman in 1917 landing in 1959, and that's what the episode's about.
Way to spoil it for everybody. Jeez.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes. It's very clear from the very beginning of the episode.
So yes, you have a pilot, Terence Decker, who is a British pilot. He is flying and he lands at a random base because he doesn't know where he is. He got lost. He thought he was landing at a Royal Corps, an Air Royal Corps. And he, in Lafayette,
says
France.
Random, but then very clearly states he knew where he was landing.
He thought he knew where he was landing.
But then it also said random. Yeah. Both these things, I completely random. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm landing, but I thought I was landing at this place.
It's kind of like when, what is it? Either people are on ships or on planes and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, we're landing here, and then it's like you land, you're like, aha, I've made it, and they're like, no, you're on the wrong continent, like a certain discoverer.
When you've flown as far as you can go, and you're about to just fail and die, you're halfway there. Something along those lines. It's from the Owl movie.
It's from the Owl movie.
Yes, the what was it called? Anyway, the super CG cool looking owl movie.
The Owls of Ga'Hoole?
Yes, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Okay.
Yes. I forget, there's a big title, there's a much bigger title. It's something.
Or no, the Guardians of Ga'Hoole, I think.
No, the Guardians and Owl, this is all in there. I think it's called The Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole. Okay. Or something along those lines. It's a very long title. I did enjoy the movie quite a bit.
I did too.
But that whole part where they fly off and he's like, when you've flown as far as you can go or blah, 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 you're halfway there. What did he say? He said we're halfway there. Like, no, not even a little bit. That's always stuck with me. It was a cool movie. It was good in 3D. But this is not about the Owls of Ga'Hoole or the Guardians of Ga'Hoole or the Ga'Hooles of Owls. It is about Twilight Zone.
Back to Terence Decker. Okay. So he is a British pilot who lands at a random base. He immediately gets circled by these two officers. Like, they just start circling his plane. I'm like, I don't care what you're driving. I don't care who you think you are. You probably shouldn't be in front of any kind of plane and any kind of vehicle.
No, that could end very badly very quickly.
Yes.
But he just circling. It's like a matchbox. Just
especially with your hands waving, because these guys were like
he was going to stop because your hands are waving.
I'm like, if he decided to change his mind, it could have been bad.
I mean, just and it's like, all right, he's probably fine, but y'all are dead.
Yes.
A plane ran you over.
So he gets stopped. These people are confused. They're like, hey, why did you land here into oncoming aircraft, pretty much? Because air traffic control, not really communication thing's not so great. He just lands here. So he's like, he doesn't answer at first, which is kind of weird. And they're like, are you French? Which he asks in English.
It was a weird question because they've made it very established. We're in France. We're in Lafayette, France. And then the guy speaks in perfect American English. Are you French? I'm like, weird question. Are you French? So we find out very quickly that's not the case. It's an American airbase.
He's like, I'm British. Are you guys Americans? And they kind of look confused at him, and then he's like, wow, we didn't realize you guys were so advanced, because he's seeing all these other kinds of planes, he's seeing all these buildings, and he's just like, wow, I'm pretty impressed, we didn't know.
You know, neither did we. So that's what the whole episode's about figuring out what's going on,
yes.
and the mysteries of what's going on, because apparently, again, there's been some time travel stuff happening in here, in some manner.
We get some questioning, he's telling them who he is. Of course, they're like, why are you wearing this costume? Why are you even here? He's like, this is my uniform. I don't know what you're talking about. And yeah, so one believes him, one doesn't. I guess the first question, which is kind of weird that they ask him, is the years. Like, why would that suddenly hit your brain to say, like, what year is it?
Something led to that. Something a little more. I can't remember.
Well,
and we just watched it, but something more specific.
It was
led
him
to
saying where he thought he landed.
Yeah, because it was a very, very old air base, so
yes.
it kind of things. So, topish level, how would you actually think about the episode?
Me, I found it enjoyable. I don't mind military stuff, because I'm going to say that first, thank you, because we all know what he's going to say.
How do they know?
We
don't ever talk about military stuff.
Because you've said it before, most likely, yes. This is the how manyth episode of anything we have ever done.
And you know what? Very rarely do we actually get into the military.
What's in the box? I'm sure we have.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I'm not a huge fan of military shows or movies, or there are exceptions, of course, because there's still good military stuff out there. What was the name? Fury was really good.
Fury was really
I did enjoy
good.
that. And I enjoyed Dunkirk.
Dunkirk was great, too.
But it was Christopher Nolan, and I love Nolan.
Did you ever watch Saving Private Ryan? Back in the day?
I believe so. It's been a very long time.
Another really good movie if you guys haven't seen it.
I also watched Band of Brothers. So, I mean, I've seen military things. If it's military, I steer away from it a little more. It's not my cup of tea.
Yes, but this one is a time-traveling episode based
I like time traveling.
Yes. Based around military personnel and flight.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought the acting was great. It was pretty decent as far as...
It was a lot better than the last episode. No denying that it was a lot better than the last episode.
Yeah, so
there's no slot machine talking to us.
Oh, God, yes. Acting was great. We had... I think I was only confused a couple of times as far as expressions versus what they were saying. Like, 1 minute the dude's like... Wow, I might be thinking, like, you're looking at his face going, wow, he actually believes this guy is from the time he says, and yet still giving that expression, he's like, do you think we believe you? And it's like, pretty sure you just did.
I think you did.
But overall, I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best episode we've seen, but...
No, not the best episode, but enjoyable. Like you said, decent acting. The premise was nice. The twist of the episode was predictable, but I mean, predictable in today's standards, it was predictable.
Yes.
But enjoyable. It told a nice story of a cowardly man.
Yes.
I mean, we got some Wizard of Oz stuff going on here. He was the cowardly liar.
I did mention that. That's great.
So, I think it was enjoyable. Not great, but enjoyable. Again, a lot better than the last episode, but...
It's one of those things where it's like, we watched it, we enjoyed it, but we're still holding out for better.
I'm sure they'll be better. I think we've already seen better, personally.
Yes, I have.
So I'm sure at some point this will go up again, and we'll see some other really interesting, cool episodes.
Yeah.
We just have to get there.
And hopefully they will all be better than the reboot.
The reboot wasn't all bad. It just wasn't...
It wasn't all bad. Every 2 episodes was okay.
Exactly. Half the season was decent and half the season was bad. We had some very issues with it, and we had some episodes we really liked. So, I mean...
But still better than the last 3 episodes of
It
Black
was
Mirror.
a roller coaster. See, I can't even say better than the last 3 episodes.
No.
Maybe better than the last episode.
Yeah, as I was saying. Well, not according to some people. And
Yeah,
that's fine.
Everyone
That's
has their
fine.
opinions of what they like and don't like. So Striking Vipers was a good episode, and Smithereens wasn't a bad episode by no means.
It was
didn't
more
feel
of
like Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
but,
it was more of like, I expect this to be on CSI or Bones or something.
Yeah, and then the last episode was a Disney Channel original movie starring Miley Cyrus. So,
who can swear now?
Yeah, woohoo! Good for her. She's old enough. So, what we were the star rating out here. Jump into the twist of the episode and move forward. Did I not answer? I guess.
Know. But regardless,
didn't send me anything. Only sent you something.
I feel special.
Apparently. Anyways, what are we rating the episode?
We are going to rate this one a 3 out of 5. As I said, we are still kind of holding out for better, so we did kind of lose a couple of our companion cubes, but it leaves some room for improvement, which, it works.
Not a bad episode.
No.
A good episode for the most part.
It wasn't like grabbing you. It wasn't like, I have to see this episode, which is, I've experienced that with some Twilight Zone episodes, so.
Well, the episode sticks out to me immediately as an episode that I really, really did enjoy was the Hitchhiker one.
Yes.
I just remember, it's like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't get what the twist was going to be in that episode.
Yeah.
Until we got there. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I understand what's going on a lot more. It wasn't as predictable as this episode was. But I enjoyed that episode quite a bit. So, moving into spoilers for a couple minutes, which will just be kind of what the ending twist of this was. The dun dun dun, which they actually do.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
The good old classic Twilight Zone and pretty much any old school, black and white kind of like suspense music. Dun dun dun.
It was hilarious. It's so cliche at this point, and it's beautiful. And it used it.
Absolutely beautiful.
It's 1959. I'm like, oh God, we just did that. That happened. Okay, yes, it is 1959.
Yes.
So it was just like, okay.
I enjoyed it. I'm sorry. I am into the classics. I am into the suspense and the horror, the cheesy black and white B movies. I love them all. I'm good.
It has to have a certain tone. And again, I like this episode, but I didn't love this episode.
But as far as the spoiler goes, obviously we know he's time traveling, but the key character we didn't mention was a man named Mackay. There he is. But it's spelled McKay.
Very clearly spelled McKay. Or at least according to the subtitles.
Yes.
It is spelled McKay. But they
call him Mackay.
The whole episode, his name is Mackay.
Which he said, they brought the name up, or I can't remember who brought it up first. But he's like, that's not possible. He can't be alive. Or, that's not possible. I know him. Well, then why isn't that possible? Because he's dead.
Well, why is he dead? Because he was surrounded by 7 pilots. Well, why? Blah, blah, blah.
How do you know he didn't survive? Because I ran away and left him to die.
Yeah, I left him to die. Because I'm a coward.
Yes, I am the cowardly lion. To which he's like, well, he's on his way here, so obviously he's alive. And it's like, but he was saved somehow at the last minute by someone. And it's like, what if that someone is me? What if I need to go back and save him? And the guy's like, it's far-fetched. To which is...
Well, it's far-fetched alone that you time travel from 1917 to here. Even more far-fetched that I need to let you go free so you can go back in time magically somehow and save the man so he can show up here.
To which he gets a nice right hook or a left hook to the face and then turns around and punches the other dude in the stomach. And then proceeds to run away. He very
sadly gets knocked weirdly out from this punch to the stomach, but hey, it's all right. We're moving past that.
So he gets through the airfield to find his plane.
He gets out of the base pretty unheated completely. I mean, no one bothers him at all. gets a weird stare at one point. That's it. We're good. We're solid. We're moving on.
Gets to his plane, but it looks like a mechanic tries to pull him down. He punches the mechanic.
Kind of.
Yeah, it was weird.
The shove kind.
Because the shot, you could clearly see his hand was almost open, and he just went, eh. And the guy went flying.
It looked like he was going in, but then he kind of pushed him, and it was a whole thing. But
anyways, he climbs into his vehicle and immediately gets a gun to the back of his head, saying, "Turn it off." He's like, "No, I have to do this. I have to go save him. I'm not going to be a coward anymore."
He's like, "Oh shoot, well, I'd rather die than blah blah blah."
Yes, and then he speeds off, flies away, and up into his white cloud.
His white cloud. That was very important. The white cloud.
Then Mackay shows up. I keep feeling like I say his name differently every time.
Just Mackay.
But Mackay shows up and immediately, like, can I take your hat? By the way, do you know a Terrence Decker? A Terry?
So he knows him. And he's like, well, he saved my life.
Yes.
Like, well, there we go. Well, don't the Germans usually return the
special effect, not special effect, personal effects.
Personal effects.
Not the special effects.
Special effects. Not a whole lot going on in this one. Personal effects, yeah. Well, did they for him? No, they never did. Oh, we have it right here!
Yes, because when they brought him in, of course, the obvious thing to do is search the plane, search pockets, turn out everything. So they kept it, so thus him going back into time, he no longer had that stuff. He no longer had personal effects.
So it's like, it's all exactly like you said. All here in the Twilight Zone.
Circle.
What?
Full circle.
Full circle. So, yeah. Again, a little predictable.
But, I mean, we had this discussion. It's like, now we are in 2019. I had to think of the year for a moment. I almost said 18.
We're somewhere
2019. This was the 1960s. And it's like, by now, we've seen pretty much everything since then.
We've seen a lot. It's hard not to be super predictable. Which, in my opinion, again, I think the Twilight Zone still has successfully done a few things.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I didn't quite see that coming. That wasn't exactly what I was thinking was going to happen.
Yeah.
So that was nice to have something a little different. So I think some episodes get away with it, where this one, in my opinion, didn't.
Yes.
It was very, very, this is how it's going to play out. And that's how it did.
And then it's like back then we didn't have that trope. We had this. I'm sure was the new thing. It was the oh my goodness time travel. Oh my goodness, he saved the guy that exists right now in our time.
Which was a little different.
Nowadays
50 years
we're
ago.
like,
60 years
we've
ago.
seen that. 101.
Yeah, 60 years ago.
I wasn't gonna do the math. I was letting you do it.
Well, it was 1959, and we're 2019. So, 60 years ago. God. Don't blink too long. It'll be 2025.
Anyway.
You know it will.
Anyway, it's already bad enough that it's September, like, next week.
It's flying through.
So, anyways, you guys.
Yes.
This is like 10 times longer than the episode was, but
well, not 10.
It's exaggeration. Exaggeration.
Yes, exaggeration is definitely the
it's
key
like
word
5
there.
minutes. 5 minutes. Wasn't it like...
They're usually 25-minute episodes. This is
okay.
not Love, Death, and Robots.
That's what I was thinking of. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, go check out Love, Death, and Robots. It's going to be Thursday.
Nice segue.
Thursday will be
Nice
Love,
segue.
Death, and Robots, which is a little bit shorter of an episode, but we really enjoy. But if you liked it, if you like this show, throw a like on it. If you like that show, put a comment down below and let us know what you actually thought of the episode. Subscribe to the channel because we'd appreciate that. Check out the other shows because we got other things going on like Love, Death, and Robots and Black Mirror. And but other than that, any final thoughts before we...
We hope you continue the journey with us through the Twilight Zone.
So, as always, you can reach me at Stars on Travel, Rich Amanda at KZ Pup. Reach the show at Beyond Our Focus, everywhere, including YouTube and podcast services around the globe. Gotta breathe. Breathing's required. Maybe breathing's required. Maybe not. Till next time, because I don't remember what to say anymore.
Long days and
pleasant nights.